crazy, but there are other models, business models out there other than the retail environment. And I'm going to leave the link to his video once this finishes streaming. And while I'm here, let me just go ahead and do some stuff real quick. Hold on a second. Let me, bring some people in. Go here. Okay. All right. So let's see. Just put this out there real quick. Because essentially, everyone kind of gets stuck up on the retail model. And it's not the only way to make money. Hold on a second. I'm going to see who's around. These are off the cuff. I'm just going ahead, kicking them out right now because I figured this would be a good topic to discuss and to educate people on what's going on and the options. Because, like I said, I looked at Brian's video. I have no real issues in terms of the content. It's just more mindset and belief patterns. Because, you know, he made good points in his video. And it's just really about retail. It is all about retail. So I hit Twitter and all this other stuff. And we'll go ahead and kick this off. Okay, now I'm going to give you a few examples of how I know I saw the information on how people who had businesses made money with real estate and had their business in the real estate they were making money from. I'll start off with my life as a contract office furniture salesperson. Typically, for us to get leads, we had to figure out when the client or potential client was moving. Because if you tried to sell them furniture after they've already made the commitment to move, they've already signed the lease, you may get dribs and drabs. Unless they were just highly inefficient. Everything was spoken for. The move was spoken for. The IT was spoken for. The phones were spoken, and the furniture was spoken for. You really had no shot unless things just got really hanky or they made some kind of change. So it was always worthwhile to call them up and see where they were. But typically, if you didn't get in really early, you were screwed. And with that, I got to examine many different businesses. I got to examine many different business models, and I learned a lot about real estate because from my networking group, I was talking to, at any given time, 2 to 6 commercial real estate brokers, agents, or owners of their own commercial real estate firm. Hold on a second. Let's see what is going on. Yes, if you're signed in, you can comment on the live events. Tie-dye photographer, pretty interesting. But essentially, I've looked at a lot of real estate deals because I had to as a part of chasing that money with the contract office furniture. So on that level, I talked to a lot of commercial real estate brokers, and I learned how companies make money with real estate. Now, there's people who are strictly real estate, investors. But let's just talk about your name is Joe or Jill, business owner, and you have. I'm gonna flip flop. I'm gonna go back between some of the old stuff and some of the new stuff. I'm gonna go with one of my friends, Mel, who had a store, was renting the space, and it's a huge building, and it was 1, 2, 3 spots. It was her store, it was a hair salon, and it was this other spot, and it was on a main drag. She had an opportunity to buy the building. Now the mortgage on the building was $7,000 per month, which she was killing her. I mean, we're really good friends, so I knew this, and she said it was rough. It was very, very rough. And this was 2005, 2006. Now let's go back to the key component here. It had 2 additional spaces for rent. So right off the bat, that $7,000 mortgage payment was being subsidized by 2 other businesses that were renting from her. So she never has ever paid the full $7,000 per month on her own. Now, once again, I said this is 2005, 2006. She still has the building. She did a 20-year mortgage. So 2 more years, she's 50% done. Now, the thing is, I am assuming, because we haven't talked in a while, but I think the rents that she's charging are roughly $3,500 to $4,000 a month. So she's still paying her portion for the shop, but you don't understand that. Actually, no, that's not true. She's cash flow positive from the rent because of those 2 other spots. Because one she took over and she increased her sales, and then the other one she's renting out. I think it's she's actually cash flow positive. But the big deal here is she owns a business. She owns a very good business. It grows year after year. So she's buying the building. She's getting rent from renters. And she's making money from her business. And she's making money from real estate. She's making bona fide income from real estate. Now, that's one way. Now, I'm going to talk about one of my landlords. When I used to make out my checks to pay the rent, it was made out to a trust. The trust was in the name of both of his children. In this trust, I'm estimating, because he was kind of tongue in cheek. Let's see. No, I'm getting like positive streams here. Oh, hold on. No, it's still going. That's probably on your end if it stopped, because I can see if the stream is still live and the health and all that stuff is good. It's good to go. But essentially, I made out the check to the trust and actually kind of talked to his real estate guy. And, and that's why I said this was either 25 or 30 properties that were in this trust. And the thing is, he used to run a manufacturing concern. Now, this is something that was very, very nice. The guy told me the buildings were always in another business name versus the name of the business. So essentially, the business was renting from another business that he owned, which is legal. Talk to your CPA, people you need to talk to about this stuff. And it was a double layer tax write-off, the way I understand it. But by owning the building and renting to himself, he created additional write-offs and other things. And the buildings were paid off. Then he had created this robust source of monthly income for his kids. This is another thing. Now, let's talk about another guy that I know who bought the real estate. He had a manufacturing concern. There was a deal for this warehouse. He could afford it, but he did not need all of the space. And he asked me, what should I do? And I was like, okay, so you're renting this space here for $3,500 a month. And to buy this space, which you can grow into, it's going to be $4,500 a month. Can you afford another another $1,000 a month? He said, yeah, easy. I was like, well, buy it. And then what you do is you estimate where you're going to be in 5 or 6 years, and you keep that space, and then you rent out the other space you don't need. Well, he went ahead. He got some renters, took out a construction loan, and he subdivided the warehouse into 3 sections. Well, guess what? The rent from the 2 sections that he didn't need was $6,000 a month. Let's go back. His mortgage was $4,500, but the rent from the 2 sections that he did not need, and the reason he almost did not buy the building, actually netted him out at $1,500 per month positive cash flow. So essentially, his business was operating in a building that he owned for free. Now, if you continue to look at starting your business from old world, old school, old mindsets, because You can't do a Walmart. And once again, going to Brian's video, he mentioned Walmart, all of these smart people. That's a totally different business model. These are multi-international companies that have a floor of people who are dedicated to seeking tax deductions right off. They have a floor. If not a building of people, that's their sole job, is how to avoid taxes, how to legally pay, how to create these opportunities. They have a whole division devoted to that where it's just you. And one of the things is you can't play that game unless you're on that level. You can look up and pull a few things and use them to work in your realm, but for you to try to do a Walmart level at your level is stupid. So, okay, let's go to retail. Say you want to own a retail store. Say you want to own a cookie shop. And you have the ability and the wherewithal to buy a building, but your the building is 6,000 square feet. Just throwing out a number. And your cookie shop's going to occupy 1,500. And with your cookie shop, the way you're going to do your shop is probably never going to get any bigger than that. So you have 4,500 square feet of space that you can build out, rent, do stuff, turn into a church, turn into a club. The possibilities are endless. See, this is where most people run into problems. They think of this box. Let's see if I can get it straight. They think of, I don't know, my fingers are not, well, we'll do it like that. That's more square. Think of this box. Bam, bam. This is my business. This is what I need. And they're all up in this box, right? But around the box is all of this opportunity, but because they're all stuck up in this box and they cannot change their thinking or elevate their thinking or go in a different direction, they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And like I said, Brian put out a good video. If you're trying to do retail, it can make sense to rent. But if you have sat down and thought of the possibilities of your life, like, okay, you want to run, let's just use eBay and Amazon. You're going to do this business. You love thrifting. You love being out there picking stuff. You need space to make money. You need space to make money. The reason Amazon FBA is such a wonderful instrument for making money is it removes the space constraints. You can literally have 100,000 products in Amazon's warehouse and not have to go out and rent a warehouse. It's great. Awesome. But if you are doing a multi-layer business where you're selling to the public, you have your own website, you're selling on Craigslist, you need your own space. You need space. You need space. You need space. So the problem is, how do you get the space? And most people keep it in the box. It's like, this is what I need, because when we rented the 10,000 square foot warehouse, we were in maybe 30% of it for 6 months. Then it grew and we spread and we spread and we spread, and we knew we were going to grow into it. Capacity often comes in advance of the need and the results and the benefits of it. So, but once again, the rent for the warehouse was less than what we were paying for a retail spot, so it made sense. But once again, think about this. Now, let's get down to the question. Does buying real estate make sense for your business? I don't know. Like I said, the deal I ran at the beginning, if you want to put that down as a structured question, because see, you are Jill business owner and this is Joe business owner. You're two distinct entities with two distinct business models. Jill may need the real estate. Joe may not. Joe may need don't know until we get down into the nuts and bolts, and we strip away the layers and we ask the appropriate questions. And that's the reason that I created Hustling Consulting, because many of you will ask a very linear question. It's very general and expect, it's not going to work out. You're not going to get a good answer because the answer isn't tailored to your specific circumstances. It's not tailored to your specific circumstances. And everyone is looking for these cookie cutter answers when I'm an individual, yet the same thing that worked for Joe is going to work for Jill and work for Bill. Not exactly. Some things will. Even let's just take it down to clothing. If you sell clothing on eBay, you know this. People are very specific, because just because it says XL doesn't mean that XL is going to fit Jill or it's going to fit Joe or it's going to fit Bill. It doesn't mean that, because everyone is different. Joe may be an XL just up in the shoulders, and then he's a medium down here. There's so many different variables, but people do not want to explore all of the variables. So if you're looking to get some real estate for your business, number one, create a life plan. Figure out what the hell you want to do with your life. Figure out, do you want to retire near an island? Ask yourself all of these questions of where do you want to be when you're 40? Where do you want to be when you're 50? Where do you want to be when you're 60? Because that is going to give you the insights for you to make the decisions you need to make now. Many people just go make business decisions for the sake of the business, and then their life falls to shit because they're chasing that dollar with little regard to their personal edification of their life. So ask yourself those questions. And then, like, what are your long-term plans? Because as some guy said a long time ago, they're not making any more earth. I mean, it's an infinite, it's a finite amount of earth. There's not any more being made. So real estate is only going to go up, and it's going to go up dramatically in certain areas. It's just going to continue to go up. In 1945, a house cost you like $8,000 in 1945. That's the reason, there's people who have these houses, ranch houses from the 40s and the 50s, and they sell them for $200,000. They've made killer money because they only paid maybe $20,000 when you factor in the interest and stuff. They made killer money off the sale of that house. But for those of us who come later, let's go back to real estate. Like, I don't own a house. I don't own a house because I don't want to be attached to it because, like I said, I had thoughts of moving, doing other stuff. So it didn't really make sense based on my life plan for me to get a house. Whereas everyone else is like, well, if you're an adult, you should have a house. Whether it makes sense or not. No, you shouldn't. You should ask yourself some relevant questions. If you like to travel a lot, why would you have a house here that you're paying a mortgage on, or that you have to manage a renter or have someone manage the renter when you're not even here? A lot of people are like, well, if you got the money, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's just be real. Most folks don't have that kind of money. 50% of this country is fucking broke. 50% of this country is fucking broke. So let's get away from using the exception as if it's the rule. There's a group of people who can have a house in any country and anywhere in the world, pay all of the taxes, pay a staff, and it's not going to hurt them at all. That's not you. That's not you. So don't even bring up that argument. That's just silly and fantastical and just stupid. So for you, what does your business, what do you want to, and this is where you got to put on your big girl panties and your big boy drawers and make a decision. What are you going to do? You got to plan. You can't just hope forever and ever that you can just have all these options. At some point, you have to start locking down some of your options and exploring that options and making some decisions. As long as you just want to be free and clear, don't expect the benefits of locking down options. Like, I don't own a house. The appreciation of real estate, I'm not getting, but I'm creating assets. Like in the Hustle University, I put up like Sir Mix-a-Lot. Everyone laughs about Baby Got Back, but Sir Mix-a-Lot owns the publishing of that song. He said, Baby Got Back, one song has made over about 100 mil. Let me just say that again. One song has made this man 100 million. He's like, look at my lifestyle. He was sitting there with the gold, solid gold Rolex Presidential. Probably had it for a long time since people aren't rocking that style that much. And I'm just looking at it. This is what happens when you create assets, and this is what happens when you open up your mind to bigger and better and different things. But just saying that, hey, real estate is not a good move for business without really stripping away the layers and looking at the business and looking at the life is not exactly a good answer, because everyone's going to have a different thing. And there's plenty of ways that you can make money with real estate if you come outside of this box. If you're in this box, I'm just doing retail. And here, I sold stuff on eBay and Amazon for a long time. Then I came out of that box and got into publishing and got into making YouTube videos. You get the space and you plan on how, it's like, okay, you get the space, right? And you don't need all the space, and you create a plan to earn income, because there's a lot of people out there who want to be renters. They're never going to be owners. They're going to rent, and you can make that money. Will you have additional headaches as a landlord? Of course you will. It costs to be the boss, but many people just aren't really looking at that. They're just like, I just want to, I don't like, okay, I'm going to pick on a group of people. I love to pick on writers. I just want to write a book. I don't want to do anything else. And then when their writing careers go nowhere, they're like, what happened? Because they don't want to do anything else. There's a group of people who write amazing, who craft these beautiful stories, and someone's going to find them, and they're going to do all that other stuff. That's like 0.00.8% of all writers. And the other 99.98% got to get out there and push it. That's the deal. So buying real estate for your business could be a great ideal, or it can be a bad ideal, but it depends upon your business. Depends upon your life goals. There's a lot of things. So there is no yes or no answer. There is no yes or no answer until you go under the covers and explore. So with that, I'm going to let you do this. Hey, this is Glendon Cameron, and I am asking for your money. More on that later. Donate to support Hustlers University YouTube channel, where your real education begins. If you like the content and you're benefiting from the content of Hustlers University, this is what I want you to do. Hit that little I up there. You have to hit the I. You have to be right on point with this. And you can donate anywhere from $1 to $5 up to $500. Hit the I and the screens open up, and you can donate to Hustlers University's YouTube channel. And with that, let's get into something juicy. This is Glendon, and I'll see you in the video. Hey, this is Glendon Cameron, and I am asking for your money. More on that later. Donate to support Hustlers University YouTube channel, where your real education begins. If you like the content and you're benefiting from the content of Hustlers University, this is what I want you to do. Hit that little I up there. You have to hit the I. You have to be right on point with this. Okay. Let that go a little bit long, but I'm back. I just want to say, hey, thanks to everybody that came out. If you have a question, hit Hustler Consulting. If you like the content of this channel, donate. If you want to be around a really cool group of people, there's a lot of stuff that goes down in Hustle University Facebook group every day. Join the group, contribute, and put your stuff out there. And hopefully you'll get something and you'll grow and you'll just love it. All right, this is Glendon, and I will see you on the good side.